Look at the sweat. Hey, is this marvellous or what?
I'm sure I'm getting too old for this. No, really, really hard work, and I just want to say what a privilege it is to be up there with Tracy and Baz, and also Scrubby and Tina. It's, like I said, a privilege, and thank you very much for racing. Tracy?
Nina, we've got to cut it short, mate. The 600's off the line on their TT, and once again, it's a brilliant start from Avalon Biddle, and she'll lead them going into turn 1. And Toby Summers a little bit tardy, but he's up into second place as they head out of 1 down the long front straight. But it's Avalon Biddle, the MTF Finances Kawasaki Spectrum Motorcycles rider, leading this one as they head down into the Foster's turn for the first time of 15 laps. And Toby Summers goes right round the outside of her. And we've got early on in this race, Brad, a leader change. Summers goes into the front.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Toby Summers just went right around the outside into turn 2 and gets the job done. So that's a new race leader, the 22, the Carl Cox Motorsport man. Toby Summers leads the 15-lap TT. Avalon Biddle there, the Motor Trade Finance Spectrum Motorcycles Kawasaki. That's second place for her. And Rogan Chan, another good start. He's running in third place with Dale Finch, the MV Augusta for Helicraft Racing. He's in fourth. And looks to be Seth Devereaux on the bright orange underground brown Triumph there in fifth place, with maybe Nathaniel Diprose in there arguing into high pool as well. So action aplenty in a 15-lapper, and these guys probably won't be quite as hard as the Superbikes are on tyres, so we're not sure. There might be someone out there on soft tyres maybe having the gamble. We'll have a look at the early race pace and see what's going on, but definitely probably a medium tyre for most of these guys on a 15-lapper.
So once again, the TT, 15 laps all, and we've got a rider down, and the bike's right in the middle of the racetrack, so that could be triggering the officials again here at Race Control. Just looking back through the window, and all action stations in there. That bike's not going anywhere, and well, the very brave official's going to come down and move it. So we might be okay as the leaders go across the stripe. Avalon Biddle goes back into the front as she dives down the inside through turn number 1. Bike being removed in the dipper, so we will continue to race here. Not even a localised yellow at the moment, so the pace is on, and Avalon Biddle in the lead as they went through 1 and head down onto the big straight once again. Toby Summers back in second place for the moment.
Yeah, looking to go around the outside again, so Toby Summers, he did the move a lap ago, but not quite there to make it happen. So Avalon Biddle, this is brilliant, the Aussie Performance. Awesome lady out there in first place leading this TT, but these guys got to be careful of those tyres like we talked about. This is a full 15-lap race for these guys, and this is going to be awesome to see. These guys have been pretty close all weekend, so to see these 15-lappers is going to be a treat for the fans as Toby Summers tries to go around the outside into the double B, and I think he's got it done. So I think, look at that. Toby Summers, that's absolutely brilliant to see the Carl Cox Motorsport man, and these guys I think have got that bike off the track, so a localised yellow only in the dipper, so a full credit to the marshals, and we carry on racing as they head out of high pool and into the dipper now.
Yeah, amazing job. The marshals just manhandling that machine off. The yellow flags will come back in. Toby Summers in the front, Avalon Biddle through in second place. Dale Finch looking for the move down the inside of Rogan Chandler, and I think he got it done.
Yeah, I think Rogan just went in a bit deep there.
Augusta there, and that was the bike that Alex Phillis, Robbie Phillis's son, rode to glory here at Hampton Downs a couple of seasons ago. I've never seen so many grown men in tears when Alex Phillis won that race on the Rod Price MV.
Yeah, what a day. That's a couple of years ago now. That was a good TT win there. As we see Toby Summers, Avalon Biddle, nothing in it as they cross the line. Avalon right on the back of that Carl Cox Motorsport Kawasaki, and they head out of there, bit of toing and froing for third place as well, and that's a great little battle. I think Nathaniel Diprose now in that little pack there with, I think it might be David Hall actually. David Hall with Rogan Chandler and Dale Finch there, so that's a good start from David Hall.
They're 3 wide as they head down into turn 2. So these
change for the lead as well there.
Avalon's gone back into the front under brakes through the turn 2, through the Foster's 180-degree turn here at Hampton Downs. They work their way up into the Foster's hairpin, should I say out of the Foster's hairpin into Kev's Carousel, and now out onto swampy curves, and the First Lady of New Zealand Motorcycling in the front, and just starting to put a little bit of distance between herself and Toby Summers for the moment. Early stages in this though, folks, as we mentioned, 15 laps, anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at that. Toby's just right up the back of it as well. So heading into Hypel, not much in it at the moment. So Toby doesn't try the dive on the inside, just follows around there and right in behind there. And then David Hall now up into third place. Rogan Chandler and Dale Finch fighting it out there as well. So this is a brilliant stuff from David Hall, and you picked it earlier to look out for David Hall as we see Toby Summers going up into first place, and then Rogan Chandler as well having a big move in the dipper. So what an action-packed race we've got to keep an eye on here.
Well, the first 7, really exciting stuff. Ashton Hughes just moves up alongside Seth Devereaux. That's the battle for 6th and 7th. We wait for the battle to crest the top of the hill here at Hampton Downs for 1st and 2nd. Will it be the Carl Cox Motorsport Mad Love Media Kawasaki, or will it be the bright yellow MTF Kawasaki? It'll be Avalon Battle just by a nose. Toby Summers looks over as he dives down the inside and takes the number 1 spot back. Boy, if they do this for 15 laps, I'm going to have a heart attack. This is unbelievable stuff in the 600s. As close as you like here. The best riders in the country, and it's just the simple fact is one of them happens to be a young lady, and she is one of the smallest riders in the field. I doubt if she'd be 50 kgs dripping wet. With Avalon, I said before that I think I've never seen her fitter, I've never seen her race better, and she is certainly taking the fight to Toby Summers here in the TT at Hampton Downs. It's all part of the Motorfest. Folks, if this doesn't get you excited, nothing will. Summers is back in the front.
Yeah, look at that. Toby Summers just gets it done. They're back in the front as they head out of swampy curves and into the double bastard. So Toby Summers, he likes this part of the track. He can take a lot narrower line there for some reason. Moves those tall, big legs of his and muscle that 600 Kawasaki around there. And then into Hypel they go. So a good move. And he's just snuck off about a 5 bike length advantage as they head out of Hypel and into the Porsche Dipper. There we go with Rogan Chandler, David Hall and Dale Finch there. That's a great little battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th, and just action aplenty as we see Nathaniel Diprose is now up into 6th place with Seth Devereaux down in 7th now. So not the start Seth was looking for.
No, certainly, but still a pretty close race. And, well, we've said it so many times, 12 laps to go when they come across the stripe this time round. Fastest man on the racetrack, 1:39, 1:37, and that is Toby Summers. And he did that back a couple of laps ago, that last lap, just 1:39, 1:38 that time round for Toby. So that's now the fastest lap, so the pressure comes on and he responds. Avalon still right there with him though. I'm just trying to find where Avalon's a little bit quicker because she seems to make up a little bit of ground. I don't know if it's under braking for turn 2, but that's where the ground seems to swallow up between her and Toby. Toby is quicker as they get into the curves up towards Swampy's curves, but Avalon is right there. Rogan Chandler holding on in 3rd place. Back in 4th place it's David Hall. Dale Finch doing a fantastic job on the Helicraft Racing MV Augusta, and in behind him it's Ashton Hughes now from Seth Devereaux, and then Nathan Jane and Dylan Telford on the 600 machine. So used to seeing Dylan on the superbikes.
Yeah, this is good stuff this time round from Toby Summers, leading out of the Double B and onto the existing circuit. So he will lead. That's probably a little bit more even than it was last time around. So Toby Summers, but Avalon Biddle right there if anything happens there. So they've still got 11 laps to go, about 10 and a half now. David Hall, what a ride from him. He's up there as well with Rogan Chandler. So a good little battle. And now Ashton Hughes has gone up ahead of Dale Finch. So have a go at those two guys there. On the one's on the Triumph and the other's on the MV Augusta. So two 3-cylinder motorcycles there out doing it in the Super Sport 600 action.
0.3 of a second, the gap last time round between Toby and Avalon, and I think David Hall might have got around Rogan Chandler. We'll confirm that when they come a little bit closer, but I said that he's a little engine that could. He just keeps on coming, and the reason I say that at the cemetery circuit, he and Toby got together and raced. They started from the very back after extricating themselves from the air feeds in turn 1, and David went on to win the race. The most surprised guy on the circuit was when he passed Toby for the win. He just doesn't know when he's beaten the man from Te Awamutu. Now he is in 3rd place. And who's to say he can't go higher? Fastest lap, as I said, the 1:38.832 by Toby Summers. So the pace is on. We mentioned before track temperature already up towards 41 degrees, but we also mentioned that maybe not quite so critical is the tyre wear on the 600s. They don't have the rear tyre shredding horsepower that we see in the superbikes.
Yeah, definitely neat, tidy through the little Swampy's curve there and up, heading into the double. It's sort of like a triple apex left-handed section, the double bastard it's called. It's a double apex left-hander, and then you get this big sweeping left. And then when that joins up with the new circuit, there's a bit of a bump with the curb, where the seal sort of meets the other circuit. So you've got to be really careful. It's easily to get it wrong, but definitely a brilliant part of the track, and one the spectators really love to see. You can park in the middle of the infield by the skid pan and have a good little panoramic of that infield section as Toby Summers out of the Porsche Dipper. Avalon Biddle giving chase there. It looks like maybe Rogan Chandler back into third place, so David Hall back down into fourth with
and now Ashton
Hughes right up on them as well.
Hall. So that, folks, is the battle for third, fourth and fifth. Behind them, Seth Devereaux and Dale Finch. Dale Finch in sixth, Devereaux in seventh, then Nathan Jane. We concentrate on the race leaders as they head up over the top once again. There is Toby Summers, there is Avalon Biddle, barely a blink in it. Down into one they come, and out onto the long straight. And Avalon just picks up a little bit of pace on that straight, I think, as they head down into the Foster's curve. If anything, she's slightly quicker than Toby there, but Toby looks like he's got quite an advantage as they come through into Kev's Carousel and the Swampy Curves part of the circuit, the extension, if you like, from the national circuit to the international circuit. And it's making, it's paying dividends for Toby at the moment. 0.6 of a second, so he's extended that lead just a little bit. 9 laps to go here in the TT for the 600s.
Yeah, it's hard to think we've still got 9 laps to go and how much action we've already had. So this TT racing, this is absolutely brilliant. So we watch Toby Summers leading into the Double B and getting it done through there. Avalon Biddle in a nice little second place at the moment. Then this battle, we can't take our eyes off. David Hall leading Rogan Chandler and Ashton Hughes. So these 3 young dudes all out there and just nearly touching each other as they come out of the Double B and into Hypool. So have a look at that. Looks to be Rogan Chandler having a little dive and getting back into third place. So our podium fight is well and truly alive, and still 9 laps to go.
Yeah, we might have first and second sorted out, but third's a lottery at the moment. Look at them, hard under brakes. Rogan Chandler on the Blue Crew Yamaha. Just squeaking out a little bit of advantage from Hall and Ashton Hughes in there. Back at the front, still status quo. Still less than a second separating the front two as they will head up the hill very shortly. And they will put 6-7 laps in the book. There is Toby Summers, there is Avalon Biddle, has the gap, it's static, 0.8 of a second that time, so maybe a tenth one way or the other, so absolutely nothing in it. Chandler still holding on by the skin of his teeth. Looks like David Hall trying to press down the inside as they head onto that off-camber corner and down the long straight once again. So Devereaux still got all he can handle there from... is it Nathaniel Dipro's battling with him now. He's just dropping off the pace just a hair as we go back to the front of this race.
Yeah, I noticed that 7 laps in, and both Avalon and Toby did their fastest laps of the race right there. So they've dipped into the 1:38, so 1:38.5 for Toby and a 1:38.8 for Avalon. Fastest laps of the race in lap 7. So these guys are putting on some really hot pace right in the middle of this one, and Avalon not letting Toby get away with this one. She's right there within the 2-second gap that you need to be inside that window. So this is going to be a awesome finish to this one.
Yeah, absolutely, and I don't think there's any question about the fitness of either of these two riders. I know that Avalon's been training the house down at Formula Fit with Alistair Wooten. I guess they're doing it by correspondence these days because Avalon relocated to Rangiora. And Toby, well, he just has lots of fun. He's got like a fitness gymnasium in his backyard. He did the unthinkable. He did a lap of the Waiheke Island on his jet ski the other day. Felt no ill effect. So he is naturally fit, and I know that Avalon works hard at it. So fitness won't come into this for the front two. That is for real. But slight mistakes, maybe a little bit of tyre wear, maybe a slippery surface on the racetrack. 41 degrees is track temperature at the moment as the leader crosses the stripe once again. 7 laps to go. That last lap time pace came out just a little bit. 1:38.521, still the fastest lap for Avalon Biddle now. So that's changed as well. So maybe Avalon starting to mount a bit of a charge here as 7, we're past half distance in this 15 lapper. And Avalon, the 1:38.521 makes her the fastest spike on the racetrack at the moment.
Yeah, so David Hall's dropped right back there. David Hall dropped back to 10th place there, so we've lost David off our results thing, so hopefully everything's all right. We can look at the battle for third, and it is just Ashton Hughes, Rogan Chandler battling it out at the moment, so we're not too sure what's happened there, and hope everything's all right with Team Hall Racing as we have a look at that gap under a second now with the race for the lead. So having a look at Avalon Biddle, definitely with a bit of a mid-race charge here to try and grab some TT glory.
Yeah, and that time she was a little bit closer as they came out of the double B as well, and that's where Toby sort of had a little bit of an advantage, I think, in the past. Ashton Hughes and Rogan Chandler fighting out for the minors, that position to be decided. Meantime, race leaders already starting to get up into the lap traffic, and we've seen this so many times. This can change the complexion of the race. What you want from a lap rider is to just do the same thing you've been doing lap after lap. Hold your line. Don't try and take evasive action. Just hold your line. It's up to the faster people to get past you. And Avalon Biddle's been slowed a little bit as they come through the sweeper at the bottom end of the circuit. She didn't clear the lapper quite as quickly as Toby did, so that is going to transfer into a little bit more of an advantage for Toby Summers as they head up over the hill this time round.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely altered her line there to get around, and just the worst part of the track at the middle of an apex to get a lapper, so you're dreading that as an overtaker to try and get a lapper in the middle of the corner. But Avalon, she just needs to get her head down and carry on with this one as they head down the back straight. And what was that gap? Went for the screen to refresh.
I think it was 0.6 that time, so she's dropped maybe a tenth from that last lap. And just being held up, as you mentioned, Brad, at that critical time. But she's right back on Toby now once again as they work their way into the Serpentine section of the circuit, and she is charging.
Yeah, this is definitely a good mid-race charge from Avalon Biddle. She's definitely climbed right up the back of Toby Summers, and all that gap he had at the line is now already gone. So this is the strong part of the track. We've seen from Toby, loves this double bastard corner, and we'll have to have a look at this and see if he can get out of there. He does it nice and neat and tidy and just stretches out that gap a little bit, and now it's all for Avalon to claw him back in, but 6 laps to go, and this one is certainly not done at the moment, and that battle for third is still heating up again. Rogan Chandler now is ahead of Ashton Hughes, so that's the battle for third and fourth. They're going pretty good. And Nathan Jane, what a ride from Nathan. He's on the Barnes Jenkins Suzuki, and he is in 5th place in this one in New Zealand TT action.
I'll tell you what, Avalon is getting closer as they head down the short chute towards the Pirelli sweeper at the bottom end of the circuit. I think that Toby is quicker, probably in the coming into and out of the double B, but everywhere else, Avalon may have his measure. She's the fastest rider on the track, that 1:38.521 last time round. Let's see what the gap is this time. 0.6 last time as we come up with 5 to go in this 15 lap of the TT. There is Toby on the Mad Love Media Carl Cox Motorsport Kawasaki. Avalon Biddle right in behind him as they head down into one once again. She's fast down this long straight. Maybe the Aussie Performance just maybe holding a slight advantage for the MTF Kawasaki rider.
Yeah, so right as we say that, Toby Summers has responded with the fastest lap of the race, a 1:38.49. So Avalon was a 1:38.5, so there's nothing between their lap times, but Toby Summers has definitely answered the challenge of Avalon Biddle. So we have a brilliant race on our hands, and the pace is getting hotter, and with just 5 laps to go, this is all to play for in this magical little 600 Supersport New Zealand TT.
I don't know, I think she's getting closer as they head down to the double B. This is where Toby's got the advantage, but Avalon's a little bit closer than she's been. Toby's so smooth through the second part of this corner. You have to take 2 bites at it, and you mentioned the track surface change, and that upsets the bikes, and Avalon is right there as they head down into the higher Paul hairpin. They've absolutely distanced the rest of the field. They're a good 10.5 seconds in front. It's a 2-horse race. It's Kawasaki versus Kawasaki. It is man on woman. Avalon Biddle, the lady of New Zealand motorcycling, the fastest lady in New Zealand motorcycling, is really taking it to the hard case that is Toby Summers. Down the short chute they come once again into the sweeper. Av's a little bit closer. Can she get the good drive coming out of this turn, and will it pay a dividend for her when they come up the top of the hill? 0.699 of a second last time around.
They're definitely the closest Avalon's been in a few laps, so definitely that gap visibly is down a little bit, so we'll have a look, and the computer won't lie, so that's definitely all on at the moment. So fastest lap of the race, Avalon Biddle, a 1:38.250, and that gap down to 0.4 of a second, so we definitely have a race on our hands. So brilliant stuff from that Aussie Performance engine, and Avalon Biddle is stalking them down the back straight. So we've definitely got a big electric 4 laps to go here, Phil.
Yeah, 4 laps to go, and it's still anybody's as they come into the braking area once again. Av again gets a little bit closer, picks up a little bit of advantage as they go through 2, up into Kev's Carousel they go once again. She nibbles away at the back of the Carl Cox Motorsport Kawasaki, gets closer still as they head into Swampy's curves. This is where Toby has got the slight advantage, but it is anything at the moment as who's this one's going to come to as they round out into the Double B once again.
Yeah, look at how close Avalon is now, so definitely a neat, tidy line there for Avalon. So this is the closest I've seen Avalon come out of the Double B behind Toby. So they're going to go into Hypel. There's going to be very little in it, so around Hypel they go, and Avalon Biddle, the closest I've seen her in this entire Grand Prix, TT rather. They head into Porsche. There's very little, but there's another lapped rider to contend with for them as well. So hopefully they both get them on the short shoot there. Looks like they might be able to negotiate that, but it's going to come into a crucial part. They're going to have to choose which line they take
Toby
into turn 10.
Follows them. They'll get through, and they won't really have lost any time at all. So well done to the lap rider. He held his line, and that's all we can ask of them. So this battle continues. Up the top of the hill, they will come once again. There'll be 3 to go this time round.
Oh, nothing in it as they cross the line. There's right on the back wheel now, so definitely having a look up the inside. Not going to be quite close enough, but I'd say Toby will be able to hear her, and this is going to be a brilliant little ride. So the battle for third is all on. So another fastest lap, so a 1:38.20 this time. So just continuing, lifting the pace, and we have a brilliant TT. The battle for third is Rogan Chandler at the moment by Ashton Hughes. Nathan Jane still holding out 5th with Dale Finch in a good 6th position as we watch. Look at that right on the back wheel as they head out of turn 2. This is going to be electric.
Length in it now, isn't there? She's right there. Track temperature 41.1. It continues to climb, so the tyres will be screaming as they work their way into Kev's Carousel once again. And Avalon Biddle is right there. Is she going to spoil the party of Toby Summers? I see Kirsten stalking round down the pit lane. I don't think she can bear to watch as this one comes to its conclusion. And Avalon is right on the back wheel of Toby Summers as they work their way through the curves. Is she going to make a pass here as they work down into the Double B? There'll be absolutely nothing in it. Oh, we've got yellows flying there, so someone's had a problem. It's not Avalon Biddle or Toby Summers, that's the good news. And they've cleared the scene, so they're full-on racing once again. Into the dipper they come. Toby Summers on the Carl Cox Motorsport Kawasaki, the MTF Finances Kawasaki of Avalon Biddle. They have made this race their own. Back in a distant 3rd place now. It is still Rogan Chandler from Ashton Hughes, and then Nathan Lane, and then Seth Devereaux, but all the action is at the front of the field. Up the hill they come once more. It'll be 2 to go this time round. Are we going to see something pretty special here? Can Avalon Biddle win herself a TT here at Hampton Downs, or is Toby Summers going to close it out? 0.106 of a second last time round. Avalon just maybe a little bit further back than she was in the previous lap, but she is very fast down this long straight, and this is where she makes up the time on Toby Summers, and then Summers conversely is very fast through the Double B.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, not much into. They're heading up into turn 2, and no, Avalon's not quite close enough to have a little look, but right on the back wheel. So this is the strong part for Avalon heading into turn 2, and then we go left again into Kev's Carousel and up towards the right-hander with Swampy's curve. So I can't take my eyes off the battle for the lead, but also the battle for third is still on. This is getting hammer and tongs most of the TT so far. Rogan Chandler still doing enough to hold off Ashton Hughes, but now Nathan Jane right on the back of that. So a 3-way tussle for the minor place on the podium, but this one is going to come down to the wire with just a lap and a half to go as we see them.
It's the same thing we see. Toby just a little bit quicker on the exit of the Double B, and that gap between him and Avalon just grows just slightly as they head down into the Hypel hairpin. Once again, Avalon gets it back under braking, so they head up into the Porsche dipper once more. Nothing but clear track in front of them. Toby Summers in the front. He's been there for quite some time now, and he's repelled all the challenges so far from Avalon Biddle. As they've got something left, because this time they will see the white flag down into the sweeper. Yeah, Toby Summers, the points leader in the 600 class. Avalon Biddle second in points going in, but man, has she put on a show here today. Up the hill they come. Avalon gets a great drive out of the sweeper, and she'll be a little bit closer this time round. It was 3 of a second last time round. It's closer than that now as they head down into 1. Can Avalon Biddle pull something out here as we're on the last lap? They're running to the checkered flag. Toby Summers in the front. Avalon Biddle glued to his back wheel as they head under the Laser Plumbing Electrical Pedestrian Bridge and down into the Foster's turn 2. This is anybody's race. Biddle drives to the inside and tries to go down the inside under brakes. She's not quite close enough. Toby Summers shuts the door.
Yeah, Toby.
The carousel they go once again. That's as close as Av's got.
Definitely did a great job breaking the slipstream. Toby was weaving all the way down that back straight, so full credit to Toby Summers. Did enough. He knew that Avalon was fastest into that turn 2 section, so with the speed we've seen Toby through the middle of the track, it's definitely his to lose at the moment. Avalon tucked right in there, super aggressive. So this one is going to come down to the wire. Into the double B we go, and Toby Summers gets that done nice and tidy and just pulls that 3 or 4, 5 bike length advantage as they head down into Highpool. So Toby Summers in control slightly at this one, but Av is right there as well, so it's going to take a pretty bold move or maybe a little drive out of the final corner, so not close enough in the dipper. So Toby Summers is in control of this one, goes defensive, gets out of the dipper nice and tidy, gets the back wheel doing all the work as the front wheel comes off the ground. But look at Avalon.
And she closes up the gap, doesn't she? That Kawasaki's quick, there's no doubt about it. Down into the final turn they come. Remember, they're racing to the checkered flag. Auckland Plumber, Toby Summers, the Carl Cox Motorsport, Kawasaki in the lead. 0.136 last time round. It'll be closer than that this time. Who's it going to be? Will it be the black bike? Will it be the yellow bike? Heading up over the top. It's Avalon.
I think it's Avalon.
She gets there, I'm sure of it. There was nothing in it, maybe half a wheel, but what a challenge.
She's got it.
She's got it, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen that.
Just wait for the official timing to refresh because it's all done with the transponders.
Yes.
She gets it by 0.006 of a second, and she runs the fastest lap of the race in doing so. Not quite, 1:38.444 that last lap. Unbelievable. Sorry, 1:38.302. Yes, the fastest lap of the race on the last lap. And once again, she pulls it out. She had such a good drive coming out of the sweeper at the bottom end of the circuit, and she has got the TT. Brilliant stuff here at Hampton Downs.
Absolutely breathtaking. And I don't even think those two will know who's won that race. It was that close.
I'm sure they won't.
Yeah, so they're going to have to wait till they get back in to find out. I think definitely in my eyes, I saw that, and that was Avalon just on the outside there. So Avalon, Toby, Rogan Chandler gets the third. So a brilliant weekend for Rogan. It's the podium finish. Ashton Hughes chased him the whole way with Nathan Jane in 5th. Dylan Telford got up for 6th place in Endale Finch in 7th. Seth Devereaux in 8th, Tarvin Walker 9th, and top 10 for Rob Whittle. So good to see Satori Racing and Rob Whittle with the top 10s are in Wiki there in 11. So wow, that is exciting stuff from Super Sport 600.
Tell you what, if you don't get excited with that, you're in the wrong game. That was sensational, as Graham Hughes may say in the NRL a few years ago. You got to feel a little, well, not so much sorry, but a little bit maybe for Toby Summers. He did so much of that hard work right throughout that race, but it was Avalon Biddle that came through and got the win. And she wins the TT, one of the most prestigious titles in New Zealand motorcycling, been going since 1931. As we told you, got its start on Waiheke Island for a long, long time, based at Pukekohe Park Raceway. But for the last few years, it's been here at Hampton Downs, and the racing has always been sensational.
Just want to mention as well this.
So, folks, give them some encouragement as they're on their warm down lap. That was one of the most exciting races we've seen this weekend. That easily matches the Gixxer Cup finish, the flying finish we saw with 3 across the line together, 2 across the line in the Super Sport and the Super Stock 600. Remember, 2 classes up for decision. Neil will tell you about that at the podium. But congratulations, Avalon Biddle, the MTF Spectrum Motorcycles Kawasaki rider, takes the win from the Carl Cox Motorsport supported Toby Summers. What a race.
Come on, Hampton Downs. Are you ready to get on your feet, Hampton Downs? Come on, everybody, saluting this exceptional lady. Absolutely amazing. Has won it by 6 1/1000ths of a second. On the number 3, the MTF Finance Spectrum Motorcycles Kawasaki ZX6R. Here it is. Come on, Hampton Downs. Look at this. Yeah. Put your hands in the air, everybody. Totally exceptional. Yes, indeed. What we call a park firmo, of course, these are production racing classes, so the officials quickly go to work to make sure that they're still homologated and working within the rules. So it's all part of our fair sport, of course. Motorcycling New Zealand, keeping it safe, fun and fair. That's what we need to do to make sure they're on an even playing field. And they'll just do those quick checks. Of course, as always, all our results and podiums and placings are provisional. But what we've certainly seen there is an amazing race. Ev got the pounce in an exceptional style, and we do have our super stock as well, our super stock. So special congratulations in our super stock class. So incorporated within our super sport has been our super stock class, and they are bikes that are exactly that, completely stock, so zero form of performance. And that goes to Dylan Telford, Tarbin Walker and Stephen Gregg. So exceptional there, guys. So we've been able to keep up with that. But man, oh man, take nothing away from this very special day for our sport. It is a New Zealand title of TT. We have the Grand Prix, the TT, and the National Championship. So there are 3 national championships within road racing. And one of those has just been won by this amazing woman. Oh, listen, I'm holding the microphone up here, you're hearing it. What a crowd. You own it, folks. This is your sport. And a very special moment down here. No, they're not even on the podium, nowhere near the podium. And the applause continues. This is beautiful. So great to see.
Well, just while Neil's down there busy with the podium, I can tell you that we've got the Kiwi Stunts team coming out. Kingy is on the Harley Davidson Sportster. He'll have the fairing, so easily identifiable. Aidan is on the 1200 Harley Sportster, and that's got the stickers. Ryan's on the 636 Ninja, the Kawasaki, and Jono is on the Harley Davidson Dyna. Now, we were going to have somebody up from the Stunts team to tell us all about it. And we've got the Super Sport 300 and 250s to look forward to on the TTs to come, as well as the grid walk and all sorts of other good stuff coming here at Hampton Downs. So the stunt boys will be out shortly, but next up it's another TT race here at Hampton Downs, and it will be the Super Sport 300 and 250 production. 10 laps for them to take one of the most prestigious titles in New Zealand motorsport history, and that is, or motorcycling history, and that is the TT. As I said before, originated here in Auckland with a race on Waiheke Island. If you're hanging out for the stunt boys, well, they'll be coming up very shortly, just while these guys are heading down on their formation and warm-up lap. Quick reminder of the shiny side up at Mike Pero Motorfest. Now we've got Avalon down on the podium, so let's shoot down there, see if we can't get a quick word with her, with Neil, before this race gets underway.
Yes, indeed. We've got a very little time to play with here, but well done, Rogan Chandler. Man, there was a massive race going on out in front of you, Rogan, but hey, congrats, you finally made it here for third.
Yeah, compared to yesterday, it's definitely a much better finish. My goal was to stick with those guys for the start, but I got stuck back with the others and sort of got into a scrap, and they pulled away, and after that it was just like fight for third. You know, Ashton was riding really great, riding my ass the whole time, and yeah, he really made me work for it. So yeah, he's riding great, everyone's riding great, Avalon and Toby. It's pretty hard to keep up with them, obviously, so yeah. But no, compared to yesterday, I'm pretty stoked.
There we go, Yamaha Blue Crew. Let's hear it, Rogan Chandler. All round nice guy. All right, here's the challenge, Toby. Here's the challenge. You ready for this question? How did you lose it?
I just didn't go fast enough. Now, if I've got to lose to anyone, I guess it has to be her. No, I've got no preference, no grudge about being beaten by a girl. She is a fast road racer. She's fast, she's got talent, she's good. That was a real good race. It went on for a long time. I led for longer, and I kind of enjoyed to. You know, the first few laps, we were carving each other up. It was really exciting. I was just concerned about other people in the race staying with us. but once we had a gap, it was right. Then started getting into it, and I was trying to stay focused, and then like the lap ball was like 0.4, 0.5, 0.4, 0.2. Oh, there she's coming. And, but nah, just thanks again, Carl Cox Motorsport, for getting me up here. We've had 2 wins in the second. It's not a bad weekend when you're on the podium for every race. So I think I've extended my points lead in the championship a little bit.